Without wasting any time further, we will kick off with the first session, which is about understanding digital media and its impact as an alternative tool for building stories and narrative. And we are honored to have Ambassador Ghalib Iqbal Sahib as the first speaker of this very first session. Just give me a brief, I'm giving you a brief intro of Ghalib Iqbal Sahib. He is a former Foreign Service officer who has served as Ambassador of Pakistan. He has also been deputed to High Commission of Pakistan and Ottawa, Embassy of Pakistan at Rome, Consul General at Toronto, and Embassy of Pakistan at France, among others. He has also served as Director at Ministry of Foreign Affairs, assigned to various desks, including Director Foreign Ministries Office. Ambassador Saab has also served as Chief of State Protocol from 2008 to 2013, and he is also recipient of high civil awards by the Government of Spain and Government of Italy. Without any delay, I request Ambassador Saab to please kindly come on the stage and share with our participants the topic of age of digital diplomacy and what role does a young scholar play in expanding the narratives. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. After listening to the introductions by all the participants, I feel that somebody from you should be coming here and delivering a lecture rather than me, because most of you know more than what I know. My concept of diplomacy was developed when I was in the Pakistan Navy at that time, for a short time. And I had come from a place like Sangeet Khan has come from Balochistan. And thinking of Navy in Balochistan was a totally different concept. So I joined it, and suddenly I realized that this was too small a canvas for me. And then I moved to the civil services and joined the Foreign Service of Pakistan. When I joined the service, at that time, what you people do through technology, we used to do it through our missions. We would host fashion shows. We would go for a Mehndi show. We would do a Pakistani bazaar. We would do a Pakistan Food Festival. We would do the Mango Festival. All these things. But it never went beyond a certain level of publicity. The reason being that the guests who would come over there, they would like it, enjoy it. Next day, probably a few newspapers, local newspapers would talk about it, and then that's it. It's forgotten. Over the years, we saw that things were changing, and it changed so fast during the last 10 years that I'm amazed at the junior-most colleagues in the Foreign Office. When we ask them for any information, it's readily available with them. But what harm has done the technology to the diplomacy of Pakistan? That is the most important, because once we know our weaknesses, only then we can come up with the remedial measures for improving upon. The knowledge which the diplomats have gained over the years is very superficial now. They would Google anything and just give you the answer and probably write it in their analysis. A diplomat is a person who is totally different from all other professions in Pakistan. Our primary task is to analyze a situation, connect it to the situation with Pakistan, and then see how best we could benefit out of it. We have a number of times failed in it. And why have we failed? Because of the non-narrative building by Pakistan. The word narrative, being a part of English, was always known to me. But how did it creep into the thought process of Pakistan during the last 10 to 15 years? That is an interesting thing to observe. It developed. And who developed it? Someone who had the vision to see that the country comes up on one platform to fight its case around the globe, to promote its positivities around the globe, to talk to the other people around the globe. So what are you people doing? You people are primarily doing the public diplomacy on behalf of Pakistan. And public diplomacy is something in which we have lost badly over the years. We cannot match either India, United States of America, Europeans, even the Arabs, even the South Asians from SAARC countries, or the Africans. Everybody has done much better than us in public diplomacy. In Pakistan, unfortunately, the things have been polarized to a level where people have stopped talking about country and people talk about political parties. Somebody talks about PDM, somebody talks about People's Party, somebody talks about PTI, somebody talks about PMLN, somebody talks about JUI, somebody talks about army, somebody talks against the army. All these things have developed. And the first and foremost task, a person who has to correct the narrative, is to have the basic information, is to have the correct information. And without having the correct information, I think we cannot contest our case at all. We need to contest our case in a way that it should come out in the world. And I'm just going to give you a few examples. What happened? पानी कहीं से मिलेगा जी? कोई पानी देगा? What happened to Pakistan's narrative on Kashmir? We could not, thank you, we could not convince the world that there is something happening next door to us. There is a land which is disputed. There is a part of the world which is suffering because India is occupying that land, that territory illegally. Although there are UN resolutions to talk about it, to tell us the right thing, to tell the world the right thing, still we cannot manage to take a step forward. What is it? Why has it happened? Has it happened because India is too smart? Or has it happened because we failed in our mission? I think the latter is true. The Sikhs, the farmers in India, they decided to have an agitation. They started a protest in India. And that is being covered all around the globe. It's not on the social media. It is being shown on the social media. But if you look at it deeply and if you go through the whole process, you will see that there is no organized, institutionalized mechanism by the farmers to tell the world that they are being mistreated by India. So what happened? What happened is that people living in the free world, people living in the quote-unquote free world now, they thought that what all India was doing with the farmers was not correct. It was against the rules, it was against the basic human rights, it was against the UN resolutions, it was against the constitutions of most of the countries around the globe. And they started writing about it. That's how it got expanded and that's how it got spread all over the world. Now that has become the major theme in the Western media. That has become a major theme even in Africa. Because I read something like 20, 25, 30 articles every morning, and I can see that it is being covered by most of the world media. Why have we failed? Why couldn't we even talk about one straight thing and convince the world? Polo is a sports. Polo is a sports which originated from the area which is now Tajikistan. I was ambassador to UNESCO, and suddenly we saw 7 or 8 countries coming up and claiming that it originated from their country. And from there, it came to the areas where we have now, in Gilgit-Baltistan. But we could not support it. We could not convince the UNESCO members, 195 members, that it belongs to, because it had to come into the heritage list, it belonged to Tajikistan and the area which is now Gilgit-Baltistan. We failed. What happened when Raymond Davis shot 2 Pakistanis in Lahore, killed them, cold blood, and we could not convince the world that what he had done was wrong. We had no narrative. Just before the program started, I was talking to Salman and I suggested to him, I said, this thing should have been, because you people are not only the brains, but you are the future of Pakistan. I said, these people should have been sitting in the Foreign Office today. The Foreign Office should have been proactive to invite you and conduct this workshop over there. Because almost 40 to 50% of diplomacy can be won through you. Almost 70% of our narrative can go around the world through you. Almost 100% of our concepts, what we have developed in our society, can be conveyed in a very positive way to the world through you people. Again, we failed, because whenever you will have a government machinery trying to develop a narrative, you will never be able to develop it. It has to come through the society. It has to come through the ordinary people. It has to come through the brains, a group like you. So I was also suggested to Salman that once this is done, I'll be talking to the foreign secretary or the foreign minister, and then probably the next session, sometimes 3 to 4 months from now, it should be held in the Foreign Office. And once it is there, I would suggest to the Foreign Office that at least 3 to 4 people, 3 to 4 brains should be attached to one particular division in the Foreign Office, like with Americas, with South Asia, with Africa, with Arab states, with North Africa, with South Africa, with the ASEAN, with the SAARC countries. And you people can take their narrative, because that will be based on some sort of an information which is solid, which is what the government wants to have as a policy. But we do not have the tools, because we do not have those brains what you people have. We are unable to proceed ahead anywhere. And the reasons are because I can tell you that there are people in the government sector, they cannot still not check their emails on the computers. They do not know how to use it. There are people in the government, so there is a big gap between you people and between the people working in the government. You need to take the lead. You need to come forward. If there are 10 million of followers, or 20 million, or 5 million, or 1 million, or 7,000, doesn't matter. You need to come forward, because you need to connect with those people. I still believe that the recruitment policy of the government of Pakistan is probably totally flawed. I don't want to get the first position on the basis of my mathematics results. I've always been getting 100% marks in mathematics. It doesn't matter. I've always been getting high marks in all the science subjects. It doesn't matter. What matters the most is that how can we take the narrative of Pakistan forward? And you are the people who are going to do it. We have lost on Kashmir. We have lost on Run of Kutch. We have lost on Siachen. We have lost on the basic social norms of Pakistan around the globe. People around the world, they think that we are the bad people and we are the terrorists or extremists. I tell you, throughout my service, throughout my career, this is one thing which I have confronted since 9/11. Before that, we were the innocent Pakistanis. Before that, we were the poor Pakistanis. Now we are the extremist Pakistanis. Now, at some times, we are the terrorist Pakistanis. And what you people can do, you people have enormous power. And this we have seen during the election campaign in the United States of America. The narrative of the sitting president was blocked. It was completely blocked because there was complete censorship over there. Not a single thing came out which was positive about Trump. I appear on a number of TV channels also, and somebody asked me this question. On the other side was a Democrat from Washington. And I asked him a question. I said, has Trump attacked Pakistan even once? Obama attacked Pakistan 753 times, which is the recorded number. And with 753 attacks, we still feel that he is a better person than Trump. I'm not supporting Trump or I'm not against Biden. I'm just saying, I'm talking through the world of narratives, that how was it blocked completely? On 19th of January, Fauci comes on the TV and says that COVID-19 has assumed dangerous proportions now. And suddenly on 21st, again the same person says that it has gone down. And the graph is going to flatten very soon. What is it? It is the power. It is the power of you people which United States of America has utilized, which the Democrats have utilized, which the Republicans have utilized. We have failed miserably to utilize your services for the benefit of Pakistan. You are doing it probably for fun. You started off as a fun activity. And then you started moving into a bit of serious things and then probably some substantive things. And then you started becoming polarized because of the political subjects. And then all these things happen. But how has America used it? Where is Newsmax? Where is Ron Paul's Liberty Report? Not many people see that. Jimmy Dore, where is Jimmy Dore? It's not available anywhere. You are the Jimmy Dores and you are the Newsmax and you are the Ron Pauls. But we have failed. So diplomacy, if we want our narrative to go out around the globe and go out in a very positive way, then we need to take your help. We should not hesitate, the government should not hesitate to come forward and request you, please come forward and help us. We are unable to help ourselves. You need to help us to develop the narrative of Pakistan. You have to help Pakistan to be known as the country it actually is, not as a country which is an extremist country or it's a negative country. And how the internal concepts are changed. You look around social media and a large number of people make fun of your military. I left my uniform many, many, many years ago, but it still pains me. There is a difference between me and a Jawan. Me in grade 22 in the civil services and a Jawan who is deputed on Siachen. He is there to give his life. I'm here to make my life. So there's a big difference. And we don't make fun of people who are willing to give their lives. We can criticize and crib about the people who are making their life, but we cannot talk ill about the people who give their lives. And I've seen educated people, people belonging to the elite services of Pakistan, sitting in a drawing room and talking bad about the military. I'm not at all supporting the narrative of military or anything or their political ambitions of the past. No. I'm just saying that when you have a force, Army, Navy, Air Force, police, rangers, paramilitary forces, these are the people who support you. I suggested to one of the former DGISPRs, I said, we should have a day which should be called Thank You for Your Service Day. And that day, each Pakistani should carry one flower. And if he or she sees anyone in uniform, military, paramilitary, police, levies, FCs, just go to that person and give that flower to the person and say, thank you very much for your services. That's all what is required. Why can't we promote this small little concept? Why cannot we generate positivity within our own society while ensuring that through you people, we are also building our narrative in the external affairs? Why can't we bring that harmony back in Pakistan? And I'm not going to say that we need to bring back our lost glory because the glory is already there. It's not lost. It's lost somewhere in technology. And you are the people who are going to bring it back. So what I suggest is that you start looking for serious materials. And Salvan can talk to the Foreign Office. I'll push it also. And then you get attached to the Foreign Office, get other people's attached to the Foreign Office, get other people's attached to the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Science and Technology, other places. Help them. Help the government to come up with something positive for Pakistan. We have done a lot of good things. We have done a lot of good things in Pakistan. I'm not going to talk about any government that this government has done good or this government has done bad. I remember when I was ambassador to France, and then there was a serious issue. And the issue was the planned construction of Orange train in Lahore. And that was going to impact the foundations of Shalimar Gardens and a few other historical monuments. So I got instructions from the government that we need to promote it and get it through. We tried our best, but not a single. I wrote 5 letters to the Chief Secretary of Punjab. Not a single technical response was received by us where we could present our case either to Paris or to UNESCO or to any other place that this is what Pakistan intends to do. And then finally I wrote a letter to the Chief Minister, and one day I got a call after a week from the then Chief Minister, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif. And we started talking, and I said, you people have not responded back in the technical terms we want to convey to UNESCO. We have to convey to the French government. I need some technical data. Without technical data, I cannot convince them. And again, they were going back to the political aspects. So after talking for about half an hour, 45 minutes, he said, "Aur aapka koi mashwara?" I said, "Sir, I have told you everything." "No, aapka koi zati mashwara?" मैं कहा, सर बुरा ना मानिएगा, अगर आप चाहते हैं तो मैं कह देता हूँ, because I come from a province which is where we are very frank, we can talk to each other very frankly. So I'll tell you very bluntly what I feel. कहती जी बताएं. मैं कहा जब आपके घरों की छतें टपकती हो, फर्श उखड़े हो, दीवारें टूटी हो ना, तो उसमें शेडलेर लगाने की जरूरत नहीं होती. As a result, 2 weeks after that, I was recalled to Pakistan. So, but you need to make your point. You need to make your point. If we had a group like you over there, probably we would have been able to convince the world in a much better way. We would have been able to convince them technically. We could not. So, आप लोगों ने ही ये सारा काम करना है. आप लोगों ने ही आगे बढ़ के पाकिस्तान की खारजा पॉलिसी के ऊपर काम करना है और आपने उनको सपोर्ट करना है. और आपने सपोर्ट इसलिए करना है कि अगर आप लोग नहीं करेंगे तो पाकिस्तान की खारजा पॉलिसी, हमारी पब्लिक डिप्लोमेसी, हमारी डिजिटल डिप्लोमेसी जहां खड़ी है वहीं की वहीं खड़ी रहेगी. हम लोगों को आदत है कि जो चीज 2020 में होनी है वो हम 2030 में जाके शुरू करते हैं. हमारी आदत है कि जो चीज 2025 में खत्म हो जानी चाहिए, कई दफा 2027 में हम सोचते हैं कि ये करें या ना करें. सो एक जो डिफरेंस है, एक जो गैप आ गया है हमारी और आपकी सोच में, वो जनरेशन गैप नहीं है. दैट्स कॉल्ड अ टेक्नोलॉजिकल गैप. वी आर अनएबल टू use the telephone. We are unable to use the gadgets. And you are the people who can teach us. So it's important that whenever you find a chance, please concentrate a bit on a few issues which are very important for us. One is Kashmir. One is Siachen. One is the positive image of Pakistan. It's not about releasing songs. It's not about making movies. It's about things which goes beyond that. Once in Italy, I had suggested to the government that we should buy a football club of Italy because that is associated with the sports about which the Italians are crazy. Name it Pakistan or give it the same name but link it with Pakistan and let a private sector person buy it. And then it will convey a very positive image about Pakistan throughout. It didn't work. I suggested the same thing when I was in Paris. It didn't work out. I was talking to the Qatari ambassador. They bought a team. They had the money. And anything over there they want to do, it is done through that club. So it's the positive image of Pakistan which needs to come out. I'll stop here and then probably we can be talking to each other. It will be easier for me and for you to make questions.